Welcome to the Millbrook Railroad YouTube channel, and today we're going to visit the Adirondack Live Steamers for their 40th anniversary meet. Now this meet happened in September 2023. We're going to walk around, see what we can find. Now I don't have information on every single locomotive we see, but I can at least give you information on some. This one here is Warren and Jonathan Hockaday's little steam engine. You know, I've been trying to get this DNHPA on video for the last couple of years now, and I finally managed to do it. You? Now this very industrial looking locomotive right here is a very interesting locomotive. This is a Plum Cove Studios GE23, the very first one. I don't know much about this engine here or the folks that run it, but the B unit is actually the A unit. Very interesting. From Long Island, this is Ken Chermak's B&O Pacific in Chesapeake. And Millbrook 70 is poking its little nose out there, right behind an EMB switcher, while the Adirondack Live Steamers club engine pulls around it. And there were engines there from Pennsylvania.
Oh, I see. I remember that car.
But now, let's go look at the stationary engines. Now we're at Adirondack Live Steamers here today, and one of the interesting things you find at live steam meets is the stationary engines. And who should show us through his stationary engine but none other than Brendan Pena.
How you doing, Aaron? Last time I saw you was at the Amherst show.
Yeah.
And I had my other little scale model engines over there.
This is much bigger setup, and
yes.
I like the whistle setup.
Oh, thank you, yeah. So
yeah.
I'll give those a little toot for you real quick.
Love the echo.
So, yeah, the 6 times a bit throaty, isn't it? So I love the resonance of that one. It's got such that deep, rich, melodious sound to it, you know? But actually,
so walk us
I laid
through
on them a little too long, and one engine stopped.
Oops.
But yeah, but it'll do that. But yeah, this is a setup I've had for a long time, ever since I was, well, not a kid, but I'd say a late teenager. I met the guy that used to own this at an auction for vintage machinery, and he says, "Listen, I got a little boiler and engine on a cart." And I said, "Oh, you do?" I said, "I said, would you like to sell it?" He says, "Oh yeah, why don't you swing by?" So he and I talk, and he says, "Listen, I don't have a lot of money," because it was before I actually had a good paying job, and but I do have a Gauge 1 AccuCraft Ruby, one of the little live steam Gauge 1 jobs. And he looks at it, he's like, "Ooh, that looks like fun, I'll take it." I'm like, "Sweet." So we just traded right there. Then I got it home. I took it all apart because the damn thing looked like a compost heap when I first got it, because it just had this ugly stainless steel jacket with the fiberglass insulation all around it, and the mice had built nests in it, so I had to take all that crap off, and I got it all nice and clean, and then I hydroed it, and it hydroed good. The old tubes that were in it were actually still good. I ran it with the old tubes for about 3 years, and then I decided, well, I should probably have the tubes done in it because they're getting a little on in here. So I had Troy Boiler Works put new tubes in it, new 10-gauge tubes, so they're very heavy wall. They're rolled and beaded, and they had it inspected by the estate, and it's rip-roaring ready to go. It's got the ASME stamp on it and everything, and the engine that's with it is a David Bass Millennial Twin. And he built a series of these, and he sold them for myriads of uses. He used to put them on flat cars with a chain sprocket, and he used to run a little like 1-inch scale locomotive with those. And they're pretty neat. It runs sweet as a sewing machine. After I had to reset the valve timing on it, but after I got it down, it runs sweet as a nut. And this engine I got from a good buddy of mine. His name's Bill Guptill. He's a very, very secretive collector when it comes to this kind of stuff, and his collection puts most to shame as far as steam engines, whether it's traction engines, stationary engines, boilers, what have you. And he used to have his collection right around the corner from my house, and I never knew it until I was like 14 years old, and I saw the garage door open one day. Yeah, yep. And he and I became good friends, and I did some work for him around his property, and he says, I can pay you in money or I can pay you in engines. I said, I'd rather have the engines, Bill. And he says, oh, sure, then take that one right there. And I'm like, sweet. So I've had that ever since, and I've been slowly acquiring nice little fittings for them, and the force feed lubricators, the little valve chest pressure gauge, the drip oilers, the whistles, of course, as you've seen, different gauges, and it's just been growing ever since. I mean, the original sight glass this thing had and the tricocks that it had were just absolutely horrible. They were all moth-eaten, and so I replaced them with all new, and it never had a Penberthy injector. It just had the hand pump when I originally bought it, so I came across a brand new Penberthy injector, 3/8 Penberthy injector model 0021, and I put it on there, and that's been working a treat ever since. And then when Anthony Duarte came out with the 1/4-inch jobs, the 1/4-inch national pipe threads, I bought 2 of those as quick as I could. So I'm going to be putting one of those on in the next year or so. So it's been a nice little boiler for me. So, and continues to make me smile every year. It hasn't disappointed me yet. So.
Yeah, you know what you're missing?
What?
A great big dynamo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Problem is that poor little boiler doesn't have the guts to power something like that. Because turbines, they're notoriously steam hogs.
Not a turbine, a piston dynamo.
Well, yeah, I could, but again, regardless of what it is, they're
still a lot of steam.
They're steam hogs. I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. I mean, that big engine will barely run on this boiler under no load. So yeah, let's see here. Let's see what the fire's looking like. You can take a shot of the fire if you want to. So there we go, level out the fire a little bit. And around 90 pounds, so just put the injector on. So you can see it picks up just beautifully. And let the steam down only by about 7 pounds or so, that way it doesn't thermal shock it. And that's just enough to keep it happy. So
the siren's the little thing by the gauge?
Yeah, yep, the little guy right there. Yeah. I know a lot of people give it funny looks when it goes off.
It's surprising how small it is.
Yes, it is. For the decibels that it produces.
That's a big sound for such a small
device.
Thing. What does this gauge come off of? Where'd you get that one?
I just got it out of a collection of stuff, because what I do is I kind of hunt Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist for steam stuff, and this was kind of in a job lot box of steam fittings, the same one where that lubricator came out of. And it's just, a normal steam gauge, I think it's like a 5 or 6 inch steam gauge, 5.5 or 6 inch steam gauge. That's calibrated pounds per square inch, and it's just in the right range for this boiler, because the safety valve lifts at 100 pounds, and I try to keep it between 80 and 90. And the numbers are nice and legible. The bezel's in good shape. It's nice and polished, so why not use it, So it's the right size for it. And the pigtail I got off of another gauge, and that's a very rare pigtail, because those siphons, they usually have the loop offset to one side or the other. This one's perfectly centered, so I really like that siphon tube on this one.
Yeah, it looks good there.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks for the tour.
Not a problem, sir.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Adirondack Live Steamers 40th anniversary meet. If you'd like to help us make more videos like this one, you can join us over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Millbrook Railroad, patreon.com/Millbrook Railroad. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day.
That's cheating.
I love it.